Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome in from the Channel 9 studio. This is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. Atmosphere, what's going on? My favorite chef. But y'all know what today is. Today is Monday, and we going in straight in to Monday Night Raw. As y'all heard the song, The Visionary. But that's not the name of the song. But we're going to talk about The Visionary tonight because he started off the show. He started up the show. They were still in Australia, which is why people that's outside of Canada, they got to see it this morning. You have a VPN and you can connect to the international side of Netflix. You saw this in the morning. But Raw you started off with a recap of what happened last night. And Seth Rollins came out talking about he didn't pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, he didn't need anybody. He beat Roman Reigns by himself. He gained the belt by himself. He beat CM Punk by himself. He did all of these things by himself, but then turned around and told everybody, he loves his guys. He loved Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed got the victory over Roman Reigns Saturday, and he's in his hometown, so they gave him a little cheer. He said he loved Braun Breaker, they barked for him. He said, I appreciate Paul Heyman, gave him a kiss. Everybody gave him a standing ovation. And then after he said what he needed to said, like he's getting ready to see some things happening, but he's about to get up out of there. So that was the end of that segment. The first match of the day, though, was Dirty Dom versus Penta. For the belt. Dirty Dom came out by himself. Nobody from the Judgment Day came out, so he had to handle this on his own. And they started off going blow for blow with each other, Penta and Dirty Dom. This was a pretty good match because, they were doing all this. Dom is still young, so he's doing all the luchador, keeping up with Penta keeping up with him, doing hurricane riders and things like that. Then all of a sudden, as the match is getting ready to get to the climatic point, you see Rusev come out. As Rusev come out, Penta's trying to take him out because he don't want no disqualification. He's trying to win the belt. So as he dive out, Dom goes and gets the belt, rolls back in. distracted ref with the belt that was in the middle of the ring. Then took a hammer, hit Penta with the hammer, hit him with a 619 as he laid on the ropes. Used his daddy move for the frog splash. Well, he used his daddy move for the 619, hit the frog splash, got the victory. So Dirty Dom retained his belt. Don't you start that. Don't you start that atmosphere talking about he's the greatest any kind of okay. But he retained the belt. He didn't need the Judgment Day. He didn't need the American Grande as a group. He actually won this one literally by himself. So then the next match, good. It was a good win for him though. He showed everybody that he can win by himself. Before the next match, Asuka's over there slapping Kairi for losing the match. She blamed Kairi for losing the match. And as she goes out there, she's a little distraught, but she's getting ready to face Mommy. So that's the next match. So as they start the match, Kairi tried to match up with her. She couldn't match up. Rhea was throwing all over the place. Then she got slapped again. Then, she just went crazy. Rhea went crazy. Ended up doing all types of things to her. This match was like really. It was really getting simple until Asuka comes out, and then Io comes out. After the Rhea gets the victory with the Riptide, they start fighting. Then Asuka hits the DDT on Io. And then, after that, they got up out of there. So Io was a little banged up from that situation. But Rhea did win the match. So, but, they got a little bit of damage after that. The next match was Bronson Reed versus Jimmy. Jimmy trying to redeem himself, talking about. So Bronson Reed get ready to fight Jimmy. Jay's like, yo, I ain't trying to come out there to help you because I'm trying to get my belt back, this, that, and third. And Jimmy like, I got this. He ain't have it because Bronson Reed was in control as soon as his bell started. Jimmy tried to get back in the match. It wasn't enough. Bronson Reed hit him with the tsunami. That was it. And Braun Breaker showed up, hit him with a spear. Jay had to come out. It's kept the damage to a minimum. So, but Bronson Reed did win that match. So he's 2-0 in his hometown, his home country, as he won Saturday and he won today, and he beat Bloodline members. How about that? Bayley and Lyra was the next match versus Roxanne and Raquel. I don't know if they call themselves the Judgment Day no more. My 33 brother, what up, though? What up, though? Yeah, so Bayley and Raquel, they started the match. I mean, Bayley and Lyra was tagged up against Raquel and Roxanne, the R&R crew, Judgment Day people. Lyra started out being jumped by the girls. Then all of a sudden, as she's getting the momentum to get the tag, Bayley gets the tag. So Bayley starts to do this, get back and take over the match. Then as Roxanne is going at it with Bayley, she hits her with a Hurricane Rod, and then Lyra comes in like, I need you to come on and get together. So she slaps her in the middle of the match, and then Bayley just snaps into it, and now she's going crazy. She's whooping Roxanne, she's whooping Raquel out the ring, in the ring. She throws Roxanne back in the ring. She get the rose plant to Roxanne, and they get the three. Bayley pins her, gets the 3 count. So, I don't know if they're trying to make this a tag team, but we'll have that conversation down the line. But it was a good win for those two. They seemed to get on the same page after they got this slap happen. Uh, but it was a big win for them. The last match of the whole night was a triple threat match for the number one contendership. That's another story the whole day. Jay, LA Knight, Punk. Uh, everybody's cheering. LA Knight, you know, started off. They start fighting, hitting each other here, there, and everywhere. Jay hit the super kick. LA Knight tried to get his move in early. Nothing happens. Then LA Knight tried to get his BFT again. Then another super kick happened. Then Jay hits a splash. They get up at 2. Then once again that same sequence happens again. This time Punk, as Jay hits the splash, he puts his knee up. Then CM Punk hits him with the go to sleep, gets a 3 count. Then now we know that Punk is the number one contender. So as you know, Punk is sitting there getting himself together. Seth comes out, his music plays. They come in with Bronson and the Bron Brons. The Bron Brons take out CM Punk, got him laying there. He's telling everybody, well, Seth is telling Punk, like, you ain't never going to touch this belt. They start, he's holding himself high as he did something. There, he's celebrating. They standing around. Then all of a sudden we see, as he's turning around, Braun Breaker charges him, hits Seth with the spear. Then he goes over, and the look on Paul Heyman's face was like, he actually said, what the fuck are you doing? That was crazy. And then he said it twice, and then he looked over there. He walked to Bronson Reed and told him, he ain't. Then he went to Bronson Reed and said, yo, listen, you either with me or whatever you get ready to do, you need to choose now. So he grabbed Seth, puts him in the corner, hits him with a tsunami. Then he goes to Paul Heyman. What you gonna do? You either with me or you're not. Paul Heyman raises their hands, and the show ends as Seth is laying on the floor. Yeah, pretty much. You with me or with him, or else you better choose. Paraphrase. I'm paraphrasing at this particular point because I was just as a matter of fact, I'm not even shocked about what happened, but the conversation needs to be had because, to be quite honest, I always said that this thing wasn't going to last, but it happened so fast. So I'm really trying to understand the point of him winning last night. Then that made no sense. They could have did this last night, but I'm not here to speculate. I like the breakup 2 atmosphere, but I knew it was coming because I'm, and let's just be realistic, right? In real life, when you have young gunners, young studs, who think who feels very confident about himself or themselves, they're gonna show you that they're willing to step out and be their own person. I think the fact that split up between when Punk and his wife and Seth and his wife came, that match happened. I thought that was the beginning of the end, and I think I stated that a couple of times on here. And I'm like, I don't understand why they are doing this when they're supposed to be pushing this new faction. So I don't know if I always knew that Bron Breakker. We've been talking about Bron Breakker since this channel started. We always felt he needed that. He needed his own time when he had the Intercontinental belt. We was like, you know, they need to hurry up and make him a champ. Then we said with this faction, like, I don't think this is gonna work because he's too energetic. And to be quite honest, he stopped being like his father and turned into his uncle, right? Because that was a Scott Steiner move. Because if you follow the Steiner brothers, we know Rick was always the guy that he keep the team together. He'll fall in line with his brother, but Scott was always the one that was the athletic one. He was the footwork. Well, he didn't want. I'm not gonna say he wanted to do all the footwork. He was the one that wanted to lead, but he respected his brother, so he gave him that leeway. But once he got away from him, it was a different story, and that's what Bron Breakker is turning into right now, I think. So this was the right opportunity for them, and I'm not saying that because the speculation of he really hurt his arm or whatever. But like I said, he's hungry. They hungry. Yeah, I mean he acts just like him. Like he can't, like, it was hard. Like even going in, he's hard to manage. He's very loose cannon. Like if y'all remember how Scott Steiner and Goldberg would have those confrontations, you would understand why Bron Breakker is like that, because he'd be like, man, fuck you, da da da. And they going off script. They really hitting each other like they maniacs. They stiffing each other for real, like really punching each other in the back of the head, really trying to hurt each other on the stairs, really trying to, like Scott Steiner was really trying to hurt Goldberg because, you know, he didn't like his movements, he didn't like his action. And that's what Bron Breakker reminds me of. He reminds me of his uncle, but with such speed and agility. Now we know Scott Steiner. We know Scott was the agile one, coming off the rope with the Frankenstein and the Hurricane Riders off the top rope, the bellies off the top rope, all of those things. We see Bron Breakker has that. We know he has that. They even joke about it, like he might as well be my son. He doing all of my moves, so you know what I mean. It's, you know, Rick's laughing like, yeah, you know, my boy, he's doing great. He's doing big things and things like that. But that's just like in real life, man. You know when you tired of following something, you don't see the vision. You ready to step out and be your own person, and I think that's exactly what Bron Breakker wanted to do. Now Bronson Reed, he's just gonna go everywhere with wherever the flow is. He see the flow going towards Bron. He don't think Seth could beat Bron, so he gonna roll with Bron, and they've been rocking together anyway, just like. On Crown Jewel, they like, yo, we ain't going out there to help him. What if he lose? We already know what happens with him. So Paul Heyman, he sold this like he didn't know, but I'm saying he knew. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel like he planned this. And that may come out in the next couple of weeks or next Monday or whatever. But now, so my question is going to be, now that it's over, now that this vision is over, do they still go from show to show? Because none of those two don't have a belt. They're not with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the one that had the belt. Seth Rollins had the power to go here and here and here. Are they going over there to do any? Are they going back? Are they going to SmackDown now and show themselves and do all these things like they used to? That's my question. But I'm not shocked about the takeover. I'm not shocked about them switching up. I was just saying in a matter of time. I guess, I mean, you know, if what word is saying is correct, I just felt like, but we was already talking about that he was going to do something anyway, because like I said, he said we ain't going out there whether Seth wins or lose. We ain't going out there. He's on his own. that already triggered that not triggered me. It set off an alarm like, yo, they're about to break up anyway. But now it's happened. So now we got to look at this differently. Now is Seth is Braun Breaker going to now ask for a title match? Is Braun Breaker going to fight Punk for the number one contendership? All of these things is what we are expecting to see. A lot of this is what we expect to happen. But like I said, as we starting to roll down towards War Games / Survivor Series, I told y'all, it's going to be a situation where they have to start making stories. And tonight they started off today they started off with the story of stories, the breaking, the separation of the vision, the old vision versus the new vision, the young guns versus old school. Now, where that might lead to speculations, and I don't want to think about this, it may be too early, but does this mean I'm still stuck on the Cena Styles 5-star? Nah, but see, that's another. I'll touch on that in a minute. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna touch on that now because I'm gonna ask my questions later. So, Atmosphere says I'm still stuck on a Cena Styles 5-star with no storyline. When you have Atmosphere, you've been cooking for a long time, so you will understand this very easily, right? When you've been wrestling with a person, or you've been riding on the road with a person for, let's just say, the past 10 years, right? You know his moves. Y'all know each other's move. Y'all synchronize the moves. Y'all fought about 4, 5, 6 times, right? So you know what's getting ready to happen. You also know what's getting ready to happen because one is on his retirement tour and the other one is getting ready to start his retirement tour. As AJ Styles says, he's getting ready to retire after the next year, 2026. We know John Cena's ending in December. So them working together, like I said, they paying homage to all them people, whether it was Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, whoever, and anybody else that they was doing the formidable moves with. It was very simple for them to do that because they got that time and effort together. It was well together. They could synchronize the moves together. Like, yo, I'm gonna hit you with this choke slam. Yo, I'm gonna catch you on this one. I'm gonna do the tombstone. Hey, when you get up, I'm gonna sweet chin music you. So take your time. I'm gonna signal you. Stomp on the floor. Do the sweet chin music. Stomp, and then you go about doing the moves. But that was an absolutely great match. Atmosphere. I totally agree with you. And I expected that to be the best match, but I didn't think they would be that type of match. But that was a wonderful match. Shout out to those guys. Even the way they announced the beginning of the match, how they were introduced to the crowd, it was telling you it was going to be one of those matches that you're going to remember for a long period of time. It may not have been like a WrestleMania moment, but it was a moment that you won't forget. So I can definitely understand that. Yeah, the crossface, Daniel Bryan with the yes kick, all of those things that was happening. They was representing all the people that they came across. They wrestled. I'm pretty sure WWE didn't want to mention Benoit or have that name plastered or whatever. But when you see the move, the fans is going to know what it is anyhow. So, but they did, like I said, that was the by far, that was the best match of Crown Jewel. It actually stole a thunder from the men's title match, to be quite honest with you. But that's something that you can't really you can't take away from that match. All you can do is just close your eyes and just rewatch it in your mind. Or if you're going to rewatch it again on the apps, you rewatch it again. But that match was so unbelievable. Right? They really took. They really. You would have thought they practiced that. I don't think they did at all. I just think the time that they spent together on the roads, you know what I mean, having the conversations. All right, we're gonna do this, or in the plan, whatever the hell they had the conversation that they planned that to a T. Like it wasn't really like too many missteps and all of that other. Stephanie Valkyrie, right? It wasn't like that where somebody got. But that match right there, like that was the creme de la creme. That match will be spoken about by many people, whether they're young, whether they have the younger ones. Like, who did that move first? Was that Shawn Michaels? Or who did the yes kick? Was that Daniel Bryan? Who did the choke slam? Was he doing that for Undertaker, Kane, or Big Show? You see what I'm saying? All of those questions that's going to be asked by the younger ones. And then that could be a good point, son or nephew or whoever, because they all did do it. You know, that leads to that question. Realist, what's going on with you? What's popping? So that match Saturday, you know, that was the creme de la creme. But after what happened tonight, though, or this afternoon, or whatever time you saw it, or you didn't see it, it was crazy. You know, the ending of Raw was like I said, I don't know if Paul Heyman was really amazed that he sold it. I'm gonna say that he sold the hell out of that because he's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? What are you doing? Scorp, how you doing, Scorp? Good evening. Right? The way he sold that spear, like, yeah, what the fuck are you doing? We ain't supposed to be doing that. What are you doing? And he looked right past Paul Heyman and said, yo, Bronson Reed, yo, listen, you either with me or you with him, make your choice. And he hit that tsunami on old boy. Old boy was down and out. Nah, I realized I'm just saying the same thing. Like I'm saying, like I knew it was coming because, like, you know, that's why, you know, on what was that yesterday? I'm telling y'all, we got to sit back and we got to watch what's getting ready to happen, right? Because Saturday night, they like, listen, it doesn't matter what he said. He said, don't come out there. We wasn't coming out there anyway. And then he started off tonight like, I want all this by myself. I don't really need these dudes, but I love these dudes and this, that. Okay, you don't need me. Let me show you something. He said that again, but he telling Punk, you ain't gonna never get this belt. And my boy, I don't know, he was triggered, but he speared the hell out of what you call. He might have speared his arm out of socket. I don't know, but if Seth ain't hurt, if that arm ain't really hurt, he looked at hurt by the end of the night. I tell you that. Even when they showed the clip of him leaving, even with he leaving the ring, he was selling it still. Like he was really holding that thing. Like that thing might be an arm, but we know Seth be lying, so we don't know what to think. But then he got tsunami after that too. So, and like I said, you know, you can't really keep that the young guns down. You know, the young, what they call YNs, your young guns. Well, they ain't no YNs, but y'all know what I'm saying. The younger ones, they're gonna sit up there and do what they need to do. You know, they're gonna try to show they can hang with these old timers. They're gonna make their marks. That's what a lot of the young people do. If you really look at it in real life, you know, how many times we go back in a rap game, we talk about LL going, well, not Cameron. Oh God, what the hell was the dude's name? The one that went after Cannabis. Cannabis? Yeah, Cannabis when he goes after LL. Right? The young guy trying to show I can still keep up. I'm keeping up with you, and like you're not even ready for me. Let me slow you down. But this is different because they're like, yo, you just keep taking all this credit. And we doing all this work. We spearing people out of rings. We spearing people all over the place to soften them up, and you taking all of the credit like you did it. You didn't do it. We did it. Y'all know that. Y'all know how that goes. But now that this happened, my mind is going all over the place. And one of the places that it's going to tonight is, dare I say it, I know y'all ain't trying to hear it. I know y'all gonna be like, nah, you tripping. They don't like each other, but there may be a 2/3 of a Shield reunion coming. I don't know. I might be tripping. I understand, but those two are going to have to work together because Roman really wants he wants Bronson Reed. Like, I'm trying to do this on my own. They going to map something out to where they're going to work together. I don't know if it's going to be Survivor Series / War Games. I don't know. Which very easily could mean that Seth might lose this belt very soon. Seth might lose the belt to Punk. Seth might lose it to Braun. I don't know who he's going to lose it to, but he getting ready to lose this belt. But like I said, y'all may not want to hear that. You know what I mean? Anything is possible. Anything's on the table. Now, I have not. Now, let me start by saying this. I have not heard about Jon Moxley coming over. I have not heard about Jon Moxley coming over. So that's why I said 2/3 of the Shield, which is Roman and Seth, right? That could be why Roman told them, I don't want to see y'all to Christmas. I might be reading into things. I might be speculating. But what I am seeing is that they might separate those two and have those one-on-one matches coming down the line. I don't know what's going to happen with Jay because Jay keep losing his number one contendership. They ain't trying to let him fight for a belt. They ain't trying to let him do nothing. So I don't know what they're going to do with Jay, right? But it is possible that those two can get back together. And like I always tell everybody, I know Jimmy is I believe Jimmy get ready to take these next few months off. At least by the beginning of 26, he taking paternity leave. He gonna be with his wife, celebrate his first kid, all of that other stuff. So I'm not even looking for Jimmy to do anything. So I wouldn't be, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they happen to bring that episode of the Shield back into play, since everybody else is old school and we bringing up things from 2014, 2015, 2016. They was a part of that. Atmosphere says the next generation of wrestlers are ready to take over. I don't know about I don't know. I agree, but I don't know if Triple H is going to allow that to happen. Right? Like we got like on SmackDown on Friday, right? We got Montez Ford, we got Carmelo Hayes, we got even they starting to bring the young kid Javon Evans. You know, he's splitting time now between NXT and SmackDown. I don't think he had a tag team match on Raw, but for the most part, he's having the single matches on SmackDown. So they do have some young guys that get ready to come up. I won't even be surprised if they have an Invasion episode come up soon, to where they got, you know, NXT, not NXT, TNA coming over and trying to run shot on Raw or SmackDown. I wouldn't be surprised about that. They just did that with NXT and TNA. They had an awesome Bound for Glory. Shout out to the Dudleys for their last match against the Hardy Boys. That was a classic. You know, it took me back. I finally got to watch the clip. It took me back a while. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, damn, those are the good old days. Versus the High Flyers, all of these things. You see Matt look crazy, but he's still flying. Jeff flying all over the place. You know what I mean? You go back like, yo, yeah. Then we see Trick Williams losing the belt. They keep keeping the belt in TNA. So I don't know what's getting ready to happen with Trick either. I know Oba Family just lost the belt over there as well. So he's not even an NXT champ no more. So a lot of things is getting ready to happen. Yeah, the Hardys and the Dudleys, they had a match on Bound for Glory, realists. That was it. I I thought it was good enough considering, right? Because it took them a while. I think it took a while for Devon to actually, because Devon wasn't even wanting to wrestle no more. So now that match came to be, you know what I mean? It was just like a classic. Yo, get the table, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? But the Hardys, like I said, Matt and Jeff, they still doing swanton bombs and they putting people through the tables. You know what I mean? All of that is just like like it was a flashback. Like, damn, this is the new millennium type situation. 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. All of those type of things. Not the invasion part. You know what I mean? But just those two going at it. Those two tag teams in particular going at it. That was their last match. They took the L on their last match. We salute them. They gave it their all. They gave it their gusto. But that's the reason why I really want taken out. Ricky Santana, he kept it in the building for TNA. Obafemi lost his belt. Kalani Jordan still repping both brands and still winning, still got the belt. So a lot going on with the WWE themselves. This weekend was rocking for them. Well, Saturday was the match with Cena AJ. Sunday was Bound for Glory. Tonight was just about the shakeup. That's what I'm going to call it, the shakeup. I don't know if the visionary saw this happening, but I know those young guns had their own vision. The young guns say, yo, we're not even waiting for you no more. You holding us back. He ain't even putting them in no tag team titles. He ain't putting them in no position to win no type of belt. So I guess Braun was like, you know what, man, fuck this shit. I'm gonna set it up. Paul, you just follow. Well, we gotta see if Paul is a part of this, because he looked the shot. Now if he starts speaking for them, if he starts setting up like I don't think Braun Breaker want the Intercontinental belt. He had that belt already. He don't want the US. He don't want nothing. He want the World Heavyweight Championship. Now Bronson Reed, on the other hand, he might get into it. If Rusev win the belt, they might try to get Rusev a little quick run, and Bronson Reed might take that and make this faction look like it's formidable until a tag team comes and takes it to take over and breaks down the faction or division rather. I don't know. But like I said, if that happens, if Shield, 2/3 of the Shield come and set this up, we're gonna have a flashback once again. The old school versus the younger. I remember when TNA did the $1 Million Club versus the Young Guns. That was AJ and them when AJ was real young, and they was taking over, trying to take over TNA from Hogan and Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, and all those guys. It was AJ, Samoa Joe. I think Kurt Angle was with them for a hot second. Then he switched over to the other side. Sting was on the old school side. All of these things was happening. I think that may be an idea or a vision that they may try to come up with soon. I don't know. That might be a Survivor Series match, right? Old school versus young. I don't know because this sudden change to break up the vision. I don't even, like I said, this was like what, 4 months, 5 months. It ain't even last a year. So this is something different. It's something new. It's something to be excited about, to be honest with you. That's why, I like for me, this was the best Raw I've seen in about 3 months because of the shakeup. Because now we're sitting there having this conversation. Now we're guessing who's going to do what. Well, Roman wasn't there tonight, so what does he think about it? How is he viewing it? Now Punk is getting ready to get mad because but he getting ready to focus on Punk or Seth, because he got Seth by himself now, or so he thinks. Who knows? Seth might have a plan B. We don't know, right? But what we do know is the young guns, they ain't fucking with him. Paul Heyman, he might sidestep a little bit. This ain't gonna be like with Solo and them. Solo holding it down and they slamming Paul through the table and all. This ain't that. I think Paul Hands is all in the mix. I think he added the extra ingredients, the battery and breakers back to say, you know what, you can do this. Let's go do this. You know what I mean? So, but we get ready to see now. We get ready to see what's getting ready to happen with that. But that was the gist of the night. That was the shocker of the night. The shocker was, hey, the Vision is wearing glasses, or they got blinders on, or the young Vision got blinders on. They see themselves crashing out and going with, they only got tunnel vision. They betting on themselves, like we gonna run this, we're gonna take this over. Now, how they take this over is going to be the question. Are they gonna stay in? Are they gonna stay in Raw? Are they gonna wait for the number one contender? Well, in Seth's line, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for the storyline. Yeah, that's why I said he's a visionary. This might be a plan B, a plan 2.0. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if it's a setup or to think he ain't gonna be alone for too long, because he might have to, like I said, if this is a thing for Survivor Series and have those two work together, I don't know. Him and Roman to work together, because they both and Punk is, I don't know how they're gonna do this now. That's the thing. I don't know if Punk arm is really out like that to where he's injured to that point. I have no idea. You know, he lied about the last one with the knee, and then came back and cashed the belt, cash it in, and beats Punk, right? So we don't know what's getting ready to happen. We know Seth, he's a visionary, but he see what he want to see. He be lying too. So, like I said, this is something that no one expected to occur. Well, I mean, we expected it to occur, but I didn't expect it to be like, we're gonna be like right up. Well, this is around Survivor Series, so I'm not. Maybe they kept talking about, we ain't going out there to celebrate with him. We ain't going out there to help him. We ain't going out there to do none of that. He let his ass went on his own. Paraphrasing, but that's how they took it. That's what they went out there to perform, and that's exactly what they did. Punk in because fast Breaker grabbed the belt. Like, you ain't. I don't know about the architect thing, right? All he did was the shield, the authority that was. This one was. I just, like I kept saying, I don't know how Braun is going. I don't know how Breaker's just going to stay here. He's too wild. He's too ambitious. He can't just keep following this dude. And that's like I said, if you put that into real life, that's what most people do. Like, I'm not gonna keep following this dude. I got my own visions. I got my own aspirations. I'm trying to be world champion too. Not me sitting there. What's so funny? This reminds me of Tiffany Stratton with Nia Jax. Y'all remember when she kept holding on to the briefcase, and not she wanted to cash it in. Now, like, bitch, I wish you would, and all that. He said the lies bring the vision. I don't know. That may be true. But y'all remember when Tiffany was, she was just dealing with Nia, and then she like, you know what? I'm cashing this shit in on Nia, and did that. That's what this looked like. But Braun Breaker ain't got no briefcase. He ain't got the briefcase. So, and so did Seth. That's what I'm telling you. Atmosphere. Seth did the same thing. Seth did the same thing. How you gonna tell them you don't need these people? What do you mean? These people been putting in all the work. It's Breaker that put in all the work. Nobody even thought this was possible anyway, because you was just beefing with Bronson Reed, and he took your ass out for a little bit. Now you rocking with the dude, and then now you got the what you call it? You got Breaker too. So no, he ain't tell no truth. That's a lie. Well, now we get ready to find out. Can he hold this title without them? Let's see what happens. Can he hold the title without them? Is that what's in the cards? Or like I said, we just saw him fake a knee injury, let LA Knight pin him, and then he came back and won the belt. So I don't know what to believe. Like I said, like Word just said, his lie brings visions to reality. So he might be lying to bring a vision from somewhere. I don't know. He might be recruiting some new dudes. I don't know. Maybe Grayson Waller might come in. You know, that's been the speculation the whole time that he was going to join the vision. Now, or he going to join a vision, but not this vision. You know what I mean? You tell a lie long enough, loud enough, eventually it becomes true. I guess. I don't know. It becomes true to you. That becomes your truth, I guess. I don't know. I guess, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that this happened the first night after the pay-per-view, the PLE, whatever the hell they call that thing now, right? The fact that happened after that is so many questions. Just like I'm sitting here rambling about questions, and yeah, that's what I meant. Austin Theory. I didn't mean to say Grayson Waller. You right, Atmosphere. That's his name. A-Town Down. That dude. Not Grayson Waller, y'all. I apologize. Grayson Waller is the New Day, the New Day flunky. Austin Theory might come back and be part of that little group. Be with Seth. That may be how Seth retains the title. I mean, unless they gonna put AJ in, they gave a spin the AJ and Becky situation up. I don't know, right? But we gonna see very, very soon if that's the case, because they about to start pushing these new storylines before the Survivor Series / War Games. I don't think there's another pay-per-view before that. I don't think so. Don't quote me. I know there's one that after Thanksgiving. That one I know for sure. Who's the go to the tag division? Atmosphere, don't do that. Don't start that. They not to go to nothing. Those are they. You talk about New Day. Oh, and we listen. The New Day ain't been the same since Big Dane bring Big E back. How about that? That's the truth. That's the truth. Big E was holding them down for real. Little old Consequences Creed. You don't sit his ass down. Oh, I mean Xavier Woods. My bad. You don't sit your ass down somewhere. He over there throwing booty-os. Yeah. I ain't dealing with those guys. I ain't dealing with those jiggers. Thank God for the new. Oh my God. Atmosphere. What you been cooking, man? What you been cooking? Some chillings or something? You on some chilling trip? Like, what are you talking about? The New Day, they've been irrelevant for the longest time. They won that little hot stint with the belt. They gave that belt right back. Get out of here. But, you know, now we got to see what the new deal is, especially like the tag team titles for the men. Who got the tag team title for the women? I forgot. See what I'm saying? I totally forgot who got the women's tag team belt for Raw. I don't even remember. I swear to you, I don't remember. I don't have a clue. I don't remember at all. That's just Becky and not Becky, Charlotte and Bliss on SmackDown that can go from spot to spot. I don't know. but those belts ain't been wrestled in a while. The men's tag belts. Does I think the New Day, not the New Day, Judgment Day still got that Finn and JD. I think they still got those belts going. But it's like I said, now they have to start rebranding things. They got to rebrand the women's champ. Like they tried it tonight with the women's championship on Raw, but how is Raquel and Roxanne? They both gonna fight for this. Like what they gonna do? They gonna fight each other? Is that gonna be the separation of the? Well, they didn't announce themselves the New Day. I mean Judgment Day. So I guess they get ready to separate too. I'm just paying attention to the little details, trying to pick things up. But this is like I said, this is the time. Like we ain't even knowing where the storyline going. They just got this all over the place. What do I think about the Carmelo Hayes and the Miz storyline? I don't like, to be honest. I don't see Carmelo even getting no props on whooping the Miz. I really don't. I need a Carmelo Hayes, not Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford situation, so they could be like a number one contender for one of the belts. Maybe not the world championship belt, the one that Cody got. Maybe like a U.S. title, I don't know, whatever the U.S. belt, the one that Sammy got. Maybe for that number one contendership, so that way Sammy could lose it to one of those guys. I don't know, but one of those type of matches. Oh, is this Charlotte and Alexa? Okay, cool. The Miz is just as old as John Cena. How about that? I'm not thinking about no Miz. They're not even letting them. They're not even letting him run the atmosphere. That's why they got it with Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is holding his relevancy intact right now, right? Because you got to remember, he's the one that was dealing with what's the dude name? Austin Theory in the beginning. Austin Theory, he jumped away from him. All these other, right? So the Melo gonna go right past Miz. He gonna miss that. But it's time for them to it's time for them to come up. I agree with that. Those young gunners need to come up. But like I said, the question is how they gonna come up, what belt they gonna retain, what situation is gonna make them become not like Jey Uso, but give that run to where, hey, we got to give him a U.S. title shot. We got to give him one of those type of shots. I don't know which one it is. Yeah, he got the healthiest one because he don't wrestle nothing. He ain't wrestling like that. He don't wrestle like that. So I understand he's the healthiest one, but they ready to go. They might as well just go ahead and go sit down. Because to be honest with you, if you really look at it, Ron Killings, even old Xavier Woods, they guys is running past their time. Like, I don't think a lot of us really, really realize, like people like Naomi, the Usos, they've been they're going there 18 years. Like Naomi was a dancer for Brodus Clay. Somebody called my mama. That's how long she was there. Her and JoJo, the announcer that didn't really make it to the ring, but she the wrestler, but she became the ring announcer, and then she ended up with they've been there for the longest period of seeing the Bella twins and all of them, but they was already there. You see what I'm saying? That's it's quite a few of the Randy Ortons. Cody was there, then he left, then he came back. Cody's kind of old too, and I don't think we realize. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we realize that. So now they're gonna have to start building it up to where you got to give some of these young guys opportunity. You got to give the Braun Breakers the shot. I don't know about Bronson Reed. I don't know. They trying to make him a giant, so y'all know most giants ain't winning no belts like that. Y'all saw what they did to Braun Strowman. You know what I mean? So I can't see them just giving him a belt like that. The Jacob Fatu's and all of those guys. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a big difference with what's going on with them. If they don't want to be forgotten quick, they got the formula for the women, but they Cody's not an average 40 though. That's what I'm saying. Cody's not. Listen, man. Cody was there with Ted DiBiase's son. Now, just imagine. Just look at how long ago that was. That's how. What was it? They wasn't Evolution. What was that? I forgot the name of that little faction they had. I'm not gonna say Young Guns. I don't know why that popped in my head, but it was Orton. It was Orton. It was Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes. They was like there. Like they was there for that little, because you got to remember Randy Orton was there with Evolution, and then Evolution broke up, and then he started his little group, and then 2009, 2000, in that area. Legacy, right? That and look how long ago that was, and that's what I'm saying. They've been doing this for a while. Cody's not at the average 40. Like Cody been doing this since like he was like, I want to be nice and say like 21, but it may have been earlier than that. You know what I mean? Because Goldust is what? He's like 50 something. He just, I think he won a belt in TNA or something like that not too long ago. I mean Cody, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust. He's I think he's still in TNA. TNA is like the retirement center, like AARP. That's what, like the Hardy Boys, Joe Hendry. We just saw the Dudleys. So a lot of older people over there that's still trying. That's why I won't be surprised if AJ goes over there sometime next year and win the belt over there and come back and forth between WWE and TNA. I won't be surprised if that happens sometime next year on his retirement month, his retirement run. You had Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, etc. as young stars. Now you got to be 10 years away from your But I, I don't want to say it's Vince. Like Vince let Shawn Michaels be. He let Shawn Michaels get up there young. He let Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. He let them get up there young. Undertaker, he came from WCW, and then he gave him his little shine in the beginning, and then just kept him around. Like you saw what he did with Big Show. He kept Big Show around, and then Big Show win every once in the blue moon, right? That type of situation. But this is a Triple H era. I think I won't be surprised if Triple H won't come back and try to win a belt. Right? I wouldn't be surprised at all about that. But now that, I wonder what Randy's thinking, because Randy's like, all right, all these people retiring. Maybe I could get my 16th, like you said, word the other day. Like maybe I can get my 16th title and my 17th title before I get out of here, so I can catch up with Cena. Maybe that. But didn't he fight John Cena? He fought John Cena already this year. I was thinking that'd be the last match, Cena and Randy Orton. But I don't know, because they They playing with this thing, so I don't know. But it's a lot to really focus on going forward. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, with normally I don't even talk about Raw this long. Like I don't think I spoke about no other sport. Excuse me, but Raw tonight. That's how excited I was. That's how blockbuster this thing was. That they actually let this happen. Yeah, but that's what I don't know. Triple H, like it's like I think they need to switch spots, to be quite honest with you, because I can see Sean, like what Sean does with NXT, he needs to come over here and do that with these guys, especially SmackDown. I think if Triple H do Raw and gave Sean SmackDown, you will see the difference much clearer than what it is now. I promise you that. He probably let Cody rock on for a little bit, but then you probably see Montez. You probably see Javon Evans. They might win the men's tag team title. Who knows? But over here with Triple H, I don't know. We just seeing triple threat matches all over the damn. Just because you Triple H, I don't mean we got to keep looking at triple threat matches. That don't make sense. Everybody don't deserve that. You know what I mean? Like that triple threat match tonight, it made no sense to me, right? LA Knight. We still waiting on Jay to get his return match from losing the belt to Gunther. That ain't even happened yet. Punk is still waiting on, like Punk still got his title return match because he lost to Seth. What the hell other than like getting a title shot for? For what reason? Go fight Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. That's where you was at. But now they got you over here now, I guess. So you feel like you relevant. So, but you ain't even put no work in on Raw yet. So how the hell you just coming to Raw to get a title shot? At least Jay was. Punk was the Raw champion. Those two was the Raw champions. LA Knight, you just got there. How the hell you going for a title match? If that's the case, your mom was all right, Dirty Dom, you go ahead and get it match. You've been here. You the Intercontinental champ. You've been doing all of this for Raw. You go ahead and fight Seth. You got a faction, they got a faction. What's up? They didn't even think about that. That's what I'm saying. It's just totally different. He gotta shake these things up. All this triple threat match, these 3 tag matches, now like this is what like he should have a hell of a Survivor Series, right? Because he won triple threats and all of that. Let's see how you do the 5-on-5. Let me see how you do that War Games. Let's see how you do War Games. Let me see that. See what I'm saying? Like he'll be good for that. But if Shawn Michaels was to be able to come and take SmackDown, you will definitely see a difference between those guys. You will see it for real. Because Shawn don't mind mixing the talent up. Know what I mean? He don't mind that at all. I mean, he's doing all right, atmosphere. I understand, you like Triple H, but he's doing all right. But he's more for the older guys. He's not. Which young guy is he going to let rep? Which young guy is going to? Now, y'all tell me if I'm bugging, right? Since Vince been gone, what young guy has held? The only young guy that's held the belt. Y'all want to say Braun Breaker is young? I'll go with that, right? But it's been Dirty Dom holding the belt the longest. Everybody else is gaining the belt, losing the belt, gaining the belt, losing the belt. Braun Breaker lost the Intercontinental belt to Jay. Jay lost it to somebody. Like they're not even holding it like as long as they're supposed to. But I don't agree with that atmosphere because it was Shawn, Triple H holding they was holding WWF hostage. especially right after Diesel and Razor Ramon left. I know that's Nash and Hall now, but when they left, they held it down. The screw job in Montreal, Triple H marrying into the family. That's how they both did that. And Undertaker, like, you got to listen to some of the conversations that Undertaker would tell you. Undertaker would tell you the one who got the most leeway with Vince was Shawn Michaels. Like, all right, let's do it this way, Vince. All right, I got you. We're going to go your way then. That's what the Undertaker said. And you know, Undertaker and Vince is hand in hand. So it varies. You know what I mean? But like I said, he's doing an outstanding job. It did, and that's what I'm saying. And who's the leader of that? Who's the group leader of that? Which two guys was the group leader with that? And look who the other two started on. Who started the NWO on the other side? This is what I'm telling you. They was all doing it at the same time. The only difference was when Hulk Hogan became the third member of New World Order. Now Hulk Hogan get to write his own line, his own story, because they gave him that role. So, you know, when you have that type of situation, that's why I'm saying Shawn knows what he's doing as well. Don't sleep on Shawn. Shawn has a great hand in all of this. Like even the Stone Cold Rock episodes, I think they was telling that story a little bit more, even though Shawn was like in and out injured. Because if you really look at it, it was Rock, Stone Cold, then Triple H came in there from being Hunter Hearst Helmsley. You see what I'm saying? And then even in between the decade of 2000 2010, you start to see Shawn and Triple H making themselves the notarized people. You know, they was more of the well-known name, even though Edge and them was trying to make their name known. That may be true. He might have been drunk, high, whatever atmosphere, but he know he was that mainstay around that time. Just right, like as soon as John Cena started coming in, like Batista and all of them, they start coming and doing all of that. They made sure that their name was recognized and things like that. Scorp, I did not forget your comment. I really didn't. I just ain't touch on the football aspect yet. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But like I said, tonight was really about the recap, and this is what it really was. They was over there super tripping and things like that. They spared people out the way and all of that. So they had to make that relevant. So, you know, they sold that tonight, and they did a hell of a job doing that. Speaking of football, there was 2 football games tonight. Yeah, but that. Hold on, I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna put your comment there, real atmosphere. There was 2 NFL games tonight. We had the 4-1 Bills playing the 2-2 Falcons, and it wasn't really an upset, but the Falcons did win the game 24. What was it, 21-14? Or was it 21-14? I don't even remember. Where's my scoreboard at? 24-14 was the final score. The Bills lost their second game in a row. The Falcons goes to 3-2. They're still a couple games behind the Tampa Bay Bucks. But with this loss tonight, Buffalo is now tied with New England, and New England owes a tiebreaker because they just beat them last week. So New England, I don't know how many people thought that they were going to say this time right now. The New England Patriots is tied for first, but they got the tiebreaker over the Bills, so they're in first place technically because they own the tiebreaker. So that's what's going on with it. And we had another game. We had the Chicago, I almost said the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago Bears playing the Washington Commanders, and the defense gave Caleb Williams the ball in the final minutes off of a fumble. They turned around, kicked the field goal, and they won the game 25-24. I believe both teams are 3-2 at this particular time. No, I think Washington is 3-3. Washington is 3-3, and the Bears are 3-2. So, the NFC North is looking real tough again because everybody's over 500. The Packers is up by percentage points with that tie. The Lions are 4-2. The Vikings and Bears are 3-2. The Commanders is 3-3 now, so they're a game and a half back in the East. And yeah, the Bears are 3-2. They tied. They're half a game back because they're at 60%, and Green Bay is at percent. So that's what happens. Oh, there was a tie in the pick'em bracket this week, because they both finished 9-6. I actually picked the Falcons to beat the Bills. That's what's safe. But we tied this week. We will be back to picking again on Thursday. Who's the first game on Thursday? I don't even remember. Oh God, I'm tripping. Wrestling got me twisted right now. He got me twisted. Oh, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh is the first game on Thursday night. And yeah, because the Rams and Jaguars will be the first game Sunday morning. But that's what's going on. Oh, we had a baseball game tonight. The Dodgers faced the Brewers in game one of the National League Championship Series. The Dodgers eked out a victory 2-1 to take a 1-0 lead. They play tomorrow. Game 3 of the ALCS will be Wednesday as they fly into Seattle, and the Mariners have a 2-0 lead in that series. So that's what's going on with that. With those games, like I said, I'll have the pick'em board up tomorrow. But what a night for wrestling. Going back to what Atmosphere said, Brock, Randy, Batista was a super rare era. It was in between that, because you got to remember, Batista left. Then you had that was the Benoit era. The Benoit, Kurt Angle was still there for a little bit. Rey Mysterio, JBL, John Cena was making a name for himself, like you said. So that was the transitional mode, and then that's when they decided, you know what, Randy, you still here, but it's gonna be you and Cena, and then that's when Nexus come in, Shield comes in a few years after that, CM Punk comes in for a little bit during that time. The Brock Lesnar era was already over with. All of that situation occurred. But yeah, that was the gist of the thing. Did Word go live today? I don't even know. I gotta check. I don't be knowing what Word be doing sometimes. I don't think he went live. I don't even know if he's still here. But now I didn't want to talk about the Cowboys, but I know that's atmosphere team, and I saw a score up say something about them. The Cowboys should have won. The problem is they let Rico Dowdle come back and copy that. They let Rico Dowdle look like Barry Sanders or Christian McCaffrey in this time of day because he was running and catching the ball. Sometimes you got to get out of your own way, and I think Jerry Jones, he's not trying to get out of his own way. He's fighting himself. You really thought this Michael Parsons trade was so dope and so draft pick. If they go to the Super Bowl, they're gonna have the late 30. They're gonna have the first round pick, round 30th pick in that playoffs. It's in the late 20s. So what good is that? You know what I mean? It's crazy, but you know, we just finished talking about how to make room for the younger people. Jerry ain't even letting his son do anything because they know he tripping. I don't give a damn what you say. You keep that dude. You keep that dude and you draft that. You go draft that guy. You can go make a trade for some of these guys. These nose tackles and defensive linemen. You ain't got to give up no first round. You ain't got to give up no Michael Parsons for no defensive tackle. You got to be straight tripping. And now look, every quarterback they played except for Justin Fields he still had it in him, and he didn't. Who else did they play? Bryce Young looked very good this week. Even though, they got a 500 record now. We know the Giants is working towards a 500 record, right? But the only quarterback that did not do well, his team doesn't have a win. And that's my guys. Y'all see the profile pic. That's why it's that way. I'm just saying, if we're going to keep it 100, let's keep it 100. So Jerry just thought he was winning that draft or winning that trade. He's straight tripping. He done lost his rabbit mind. So you guys gotta really be honest. Excuse me. Dak is playing outstanding, but he has to play outstanding because his defense ain't stopping nothing. So he can't even. He gotta play perfect football. And y'all see what happens if he don't play perfect football. You tie up with. Excuse me, sneeze attack coming. I'm allergic to this cowboy talk, I guess. I don't know. You got a tie with the Packers. You lost to the Panthers. I think you lost to the Eagles. Your only wins is the Giants with Russell Wilson. Excuse me. Russell Wilson, who gave y'all that game with that stupid ass interception in the overtime. Was that overtime? I think it was overtime. Excuse me. And the Jets. Those are the two wins you got. That's nothing to be proud about, to be honest with you, because you could have easily lost that Giant game. Russell Wilson threw for 454 yards with no pass rush. He ain't even going to throw another pass. So that's not nothing to be happy about, to be honest with you. So, Score, I don't even know if you're still here, but if you catch the replay, I am answering your question. There's no way in the world they should have won that game because they can't stop nobody. They had the ball. Excuse me. They had the ball. They had the punt. As a matter of fact, the Panthers won on the last second field goal because they kept the ball all that time from the 2-minute warning on to keep the final kick. The final play was a field goal. Nah. I think it would have been a different story because the pass rush, you're not getting to the quarterback. Nobody's getting to the quarterback. Like I said, the only game y'all got to the quarterback was the Jets. That's the only game. The only game y'all got was the Jet game. Everybody else did not get no pressure on the quarterback. You might have had a sack here and there, but you know when number 11 is there, they're gonna double team. That would have left your other end with a couple of sacks. It would have been a different. It would have been a difference. Y'all would have been getting more turnovers because they forcing the ball out of his hand quick. The one that's really going to suffer the most off of this is not Stephon, Trayvon Diggs, because that pressure was making him throw the ball to the other side. DaRon Bland. That's why DaRon Bland had about 5 or 6 interceptions because they wasn't throwing to Stephon Diggs because the pressure of Michael Parsons. You got to understand the effect that a pass rusher has. Now you got a blitz. Now y'all not in coverages. There's blown coverages all over the place. People running seams down your throat because there's no pass rush and everybody don't know which way they're going. Their defensive coordinator looks crazy. I won't be surprised if they fire him in the next couple of weeks. It's that bad. That defense is that bad. Who y'all stopping? What are y'all stopping? And that's the question. So the Cowboys have to really figure out if they can develop a pass rusher. They could develop a pass rusher. He ain't got to be Micah Parsons. He just got to get to the quarterback and make it effective. Not the middle linebacker that's blitzing all the time. That's why Trayvon Diggs was that important. That's why he looked at that good. That's why he led the league in interceptions. Number 11 was in people's faces, even if he didn't get sacks all the time. He was present enough to get the interception. He was present enough to force that turnover. He was present enough to get the strip sack. He was present enough to get a full start and move the offensive line, the offense 5 yards back. He did that. Y'all not even getting full starts. Ain't nobody even scared of the line. So that's what's happening with the Cowboys. That's just the truth. Like I said, if they think they're going to find somebody, they're not. They ain't worry about paying. I get it. You couldn't pay him. I understand that. But you could have franchise tagged him. Why you ain't franchise tag him? Do your franchise tagging for 2 years, then y'all let him go. He would have been 6-7 years in. Nah, we don't trust you. We don't think you're good enough anymore. Then y'all gone. Y'all could have let him go anywhere. I should have traded him to the damn Raiders. He ain't no threat to y'all. But here he is in the first place team, and y'all struggling to get on 500. So what are they supposed to think? What are they supposed to do? You know what I mean? That was just bad. Jerry his ego got in the way. His old ass ego got in the way. He should have let his son do that. He ain't tried to tag him because he should have tagged him. He ain't tried. You don't try to tag him. You tag him. You play under the contract. If you sit out, hey, you ain't going to get this bread. Every day you out, you ain't getting paid. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? So you got to deal with the consequences. He franchised, didn't he? He was going to franchise Dak. As a matter of fact, didn't Dak play under the franchise tag, if I'm not mistaken? Go watch the Stephen A. interview. How do you try to tag him? There's no, you can't, there's no contract that says you can't franchise tag me. You either going to tag him or you don't. And if he don't play, he don't play. All right, whatever. Y'all didn't want to re-sign him. That's what it was. He probably went past the deadline to franchise tag him. Stephen A. interview, he told on himself. And he franchise tagged. He franchised Dak. He did. He franchised Dak. He franchised Dak. That's why Dak was still in. Dak Prescott was franchise tagged by the Cowboys, specifically the exclusive franchise tag in both 2020 and 2021. That's what I'm telling you. He did it. He did it. That's why Dak got all that money. Because he franchise tagged him twice. So if he would have franchise tagged Michael Parsons, it would have been 2 years. He would have had to stay there 2 years. It would have been like, what would it have been, like 25, 30 million, and then another 35, 40 million. But you trying to hold it. You can't atmosphere. You can't, it doesn't matter what he wants. If you franchise tag him, he has to stay. There's no arbitration. He got to stay. If they tagged him, they would have tagged him. That would have been it. Let's look up what franchise tag is in football. Hold on. The NFL tag is a 1-year guaranteed contract that allows a team to retain a player who is set to become an unrestricted free agent, preventing them from entering the open market. How many times was Michael franchised? I've seen the interview, but what I'm saying is, if you franchise him, that's it. Unless you're saying he didn't want to sign a franchise tag, is that what you're saying? There are 3 types of tag. A non-exclusive tag allows a player to negotiate with other teams while giving the original team the right to match the offer or receive 2 first-round picks. The exclusive tag prohibits the player from negotiating from other teams with other teams, and the transition tag allows a team to match an offer but receive no compensation if the player leaves. How does it work? The purpose is to keep a key player for at least 1 more season when a long-term deal can't be reached. Timing, it can only be used once per off-season on a player with an expiring contract. The contract is a 1-year guaranteed deal with a salary based on the player's position. Signing, the player can choose to play on the 1-year deal or hold out until July 15th deadline to sign a long-term contract. Negotiation. Once a tag is applied, the player cannot refuse it. But they can still attempt to force a trade. Different types of tags. Non-exclusive, the most common type. Player's ability. The player can negotiate with other teams. The team right to the original team can either match the best offer or receive 2 first-round draft picks as compensation. The exclusive tag. The player is completely tied to the team. Player's ability. The player agent cannot negotiate with any other team. The salary is the greater of the average of the top 5 salaries at their position or 120% of their previous salary. Transition tag. The team gets the right to match any other team's offer but receive no draft picks. No draft pick compensation if the player leaves. The player ability. The player can negotiate with other teams. The team right, the original team can match the offer, but if they decline, the player leaves without any compensation for the team. So maybe it is what you're saying, atmosphere. He didn't sign the contract. It doesn't say that he signed the contract. What happens if that's just a tag? I don't know if you can just offer somebody that and they got to sign it. I don't know. I thought the franchise tag is once you tag the dude can't go nowhere. You just offer him the money. The tag is going to be worth 11 million or 12 million or whatever. That's like Saquon. They didn't want to give Saquon 12 million. They didn't even franchise him. That's why he was allowed to go to the Eagles. So, but whatever it is, it's all on Jerry because Jerry should have made it happen. You worrying about all that. You would have paid him $30 million for that 1 year he would have played again. That's just the bottom line. He didn't want to franchise him because he didn't want to pay him. That was his idea. He waits till the last minute to do everything. So So now y'all the Cowboys are 2-3-1 because Jerry don't his ego gets in the way. He's still mad that he paying Dak $60 million. You heard what he said at the poll. Yeah, I paid you too much. You got one over me. You got one on me. Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody trying to hear that. But it was just a good session. They just gotta find a way to get some defense to give Dak some time to not, throw his arm out. Because now you got to worry about all of that stuff. But that's just, an outside Cowboys fan looking in. You guys are more in debt to the Cowboy in depth with the Cowboys than I am. That's your area. That's your team. So y'all do a lot more reading of the thing. So, that's cool. But don't y'all play the Eagles? Do y'all play the? I don't even know. There's a schedule. Hold on. Let me see what the schedule is. The Eagles play the Vikings. Giants play the Broncos. They play the Commanders. They play the Commanders on Sunday. That more than likely will be the game of the week. The Cowboys play the Commanders are coming to Dallas AT&T Stadium. You focus on the Mavs. What you think the Mavs going to do, Atmosphere? What you think they're going to do with they loaded front court? When y'all think y'all getting Kyrie back? But y'all stay tuned because we're going to have all those conversations. Matter of fact, we may have that conversation next Monday because if I'm not mistaken, what's today? Today the 14th, right? We will probably have that conversation next Monday because the season starts. The NBA starts that Tuesday, the 22nd. Y'all got a championship team. You got all defense. Cooper Flag plays defense? Ain't Cooper? How tall is Cooper Flag? Ain't Cooper Flag supposed to be like 6'8"? So you're gonna have Cooper Flag, AD, and what's his name? Gafford or Washington? Or which one is coming off the bench? Who's coming off the bench? Oh, Cooper Flag is a small forward. They're gonna have AD. AD ain't playing no center. He gonna play power forward. Oh, y'all got D'Angelo Russell. Okay, yeah. Maybe not this year. Maybe not this year. Y'all got D'Angelo Russell. That's right. He's a tie dude. They got him listed at 6'9". So you're gonna have small forwards. They don't know who the starters are. It's open for what? Man. Y'all letting J Kid lie to y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Where the Ross at? Where the hell's the Ross at? I just saw it. D'Lo's hurt, so they're gonna have Dante Exum. Damn, I just saw it. Where did I see that? I saw RJ. I know I ain't seen no RJ Barrett up there. Did I see RJ Barrett? Oh, that was PJ. All right, so the guards, you got Brandon Williams, Dante Exum, D'Angelo Russell. Then you got Caleb Martin, Max Christie, Klay Thompson. Small forwards, Cooper Flag, Najee Marshall, and then you got AD, PJ Washington, and then your center is going to be Lively, Gafford, or Anthony Davis. That's the roster. So everybody is hurt. So y'all got Brandon Williams and Klay Thompson. So that's going to be the five. So it's going to be Anthony Davis, either PJ Washington or Daniel Gafford. But somebody got to come off the bench. I know that for sure. For Kyrie to come, that's what's going to happen. So we're going to wait till after the All-Star break and see what happens. I'm not doing the prediction of the record because that's too much. I ain't going to say they're going to go. They let Cooper fly. So who was the shooting guard? Was Klay the shooting guard, or they letting him relax because he old? I don't know what JK trying to do. But the team going to change anyway when Kyrie come back. So unless I don't know how they're going to do this. It's going to be an interesting year for the Mavs. This might be a restructure year for them. So it's going to be different. But like I said, if y'all want to talk about that next Monday, we can talk about that next Monday. PJ was there, you think? PJ was not no shooting guard. Come on, at PJ Washington was a shooting guard. Oh yeah, they tripping that. I ain't doing this with them. But like I said, if y'all want to have this, you want to have this conversation next Monday, we can have a conversation predicting who's going to come out the conference or who's going to be the first. Oh, shit, it's 10 teams now, right? So let's see who makes the first 8. We're going to do the first 8. We ain't going to do 9 and 10. We're going to do the first 8 to get seeded in the playoffs, right? Because if you do the playing teams, that might be. I mean, I don't know. We can have that conversation though. Whatever y'all at Monday night. It's going to be Klay Thompson. It's going to be Klay Thompson, and if they have Cooper Flag, that means Dante Exum was the backup guard. Brandon Williams is going to be probably the backup 2 guard. But Gafford and PJ is going to split the center spot. I know that for sure. Max Christie, Max Christie hurt too? Max Christie gonna get he's gonna get a lot of playing time again this year. Because they don't have if D'Lo's hurt, that means they're gonna figure that out. But I don't know. If they have Cooper Flag running the point, either Klay Thompson, yeah, I don't know. They might let Matt Christie be the backup point guard until Dante Exum come back. So if he balling, why the hell is they got Cooper Flag bringing the ball up? And that's what I'm saying. I don't know what they doing in Dallas. I really don't. But that's why I'm saying you have to wait for Kyrie to come back. Because when Kyrie come back, if you got Kyrie, Klay, because they could be playing small ball soon. Could you imagine it to be Kyrie, Max Christie, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, and Anthony Davis? That could be possible, right? Just to have a small ball lineup. I know. I'm just saying. But the small ball lineup ain't going to work because that would be a Jason Kidd lineup. That's how Jason Kidd. That's like Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittle, Vince Carter, or Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson. See what I'm saying? That type of lineup. But you can't have Cooper Flag running that like that. So it would be that lineup. If they was healthy enough, it would probably be Kyrie, Max Christie, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis. Then you come in with PJ or somebody like that to get Anthony Davis down to a 4, so he don't have to play the 5 all the time. But all of this is going to bank on Kyrie coming back. That much I know. So this year, you know, Dallas could be, if they're consistent enough, they could be like a 6 seed. And maybe you think I'm tripping. Or maybe you feel like they're going to be a Thunder or Rockets or something like that. I don't know. But we could do like I said, we could do a preview. Will that be enough for the Nuggets? I don't even know what the Nuggets are going to do. The Nuggets are some people. So I don't even know if they're going to be like top of the top. You know, so many questions coming out the West, right? Like I said, KD joining the Rockets. Will they keep their position? How good is the Thunder going to be after winning the championship? There's so many questions to go behind this. It's a lot to really sit back and observe. It's not like the Eastern Conference, right, where Boston was it. You know, we see Cleveland being the number 1 seed. We don't think they're going nowhere. You know, it's not like the East. This is the West. The West is going to be super competitive. So we, you know, like I said, if we had this conversation Monday, you know, maybe I could get on a little bit, like start at 11 to have that conversation and go on and go through with it, then that would be something else. But yeah, that's going to be a great conversation. I could tell you that now. I might be on there another 2 hours speaking about this, but I ain't going to be on here that much longer. But they have a great. I'll say this: they have a very talented roster. That much you can't take away from that. If you really sit there and look at it, you say, you know what? I think, to be honest with you, with Kyrie in there, they match up very well with the Thunder. They match up very well with this new Nugget team. The Clippers, the Lakers, I don't even know what they got yet, but they will probably match up with them too. So I understand the excitement. I'm not going to take away from the excitement. I just don't think it's this year because Kyrie is not coming back unless he come back immediately after the All-Star break or something like that. Then I would have to sit there and see how he's moving around and then get himself. They beat the Thunder 3-1 last year. They beat the Thunder 3-1, but the Thunder won the championship. I can give you another stat. Boston swept the Knicks 4-0. Did Boston beat them in the playoffs? No. Those regular season stats don't mean nothing. When it's time to turn up, it's time to turn up. That's all I'm saying. But they do have a very good roster. They have a great. It's very easy to say they have a top 5 roster. I can say that with no problem. Top 5 easily. Right? There's not too many teams that could match up with the roster. I think Max Christie is a better defender than a lot of people give him credit for. I don't know if they consider Klay to be a defensive player anymore. He's a little seasoned. Dallas tank like they did when they got Kyrie. They ain't Tank. They was injured. All those dudes was injured. All those dudes was injured. They like we ain't doing it, and I understand that. But we're gonna see this year. Like I said, great roster. I'm interested to see what happens with D'Lo. D'Lo gotta hold it down until Kyrie comes back. He gotta stay healthy. They may ask Clay to play a little bit longer this year. They're gonna ask Max to play a little bit more this year. Now the forwards they might have AD, Cooper Flag, Gafford, or PJ Washington. Like I said, that might be their roster. Cooper Flag, AD, PJ. Now I don't know who the one be, but this is going to be a very interesting scenario for them going forward. That much I'm a bank on that. I'm really going to bank on that for sure. Like I said, we'll have that conversation. If you want, we can have that conversation Monday, the night before the banner goes up in OKC. We can do that. Yeah, we can have that conversation. But in the meantime and in between time, I'll get ready to shut this down. I appreciate the conversation. We spoke about basketball. We know basketball's coming up next week. We know the hockey season. I ain't even put the hockey records up for the week. That's on me, y'all. I wasn't paying attention. I was stuck on NFL and MLB and wrestling this weekend. I'm gonna get on that grind and put the records up. So for anybody that wants to follow the hockey season, but we got NBA coming up next Tuesday. But before that, we'll talk about the Thursday night game if it's interesting. We know that Steelers is playing the Bengals Thursday night. We'll talk about what happened on SmackDown and any effect. We know that Jacob and Drew is gonna fight Friday on SmackDown, I think. And then we'll run down the rest of the week. I'll also have the pick 'em board on the community wall. Like I said, if you want to pick the games this week, just leave a comment under the post. I will add it to the wall. I will add it. I will put the picks on the wall. So that way you can see who's going up against, who's picked whom and where, and then the results will come out. This week's results has already been posted. You'll see that myself and Word, we have the same record, 9-6. But we will do that once again. We're doing that all season long. But we'll definitely be back Friday night, 11:30. So I appreciate everybody staying tuned, having a conversation. So from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33 signing off. For those of y'all that are still here, going over to hear what the Word is talking about. His topic is the better you, the better us. How can we help each other to become a better version of ourselves? So with that being said, this is Mr. 33 signing off. See you guys over there.